and welcome to another edition of Film Nut. I am your host, Jeff Schubert. Glad you can join us for tonight's show. For past episodes of Film Nut, you can go to thestream.tv/filmnut, and to follow us on Twitter, you can go to @thefilmnut. We are very excited to be back for Season 5. From Beverly Hills to Tel Aviv, my guest tonight went from troubled teen to man on a mission. Leaving behind the comforts of Rodeo Drive to join the Israeli Elite Special Forces Counterterrorism Unit, the Sayeret Duvdevan, I'll check with him to see if I pronounced that correctly. Aaron Cohen has been on the front lines of Israel's war on terrorism, and he has brought that knowledge back with him to the United States. Along with Douglas Century, he has written the book Brotherhood of Warriors, detailing his personal story and chilling real-world events and how they're dealt with the Israeli way. He opened up his own security firm, IMS, which offers courses and training in counterterrorism to the United States military, state and local police. IMS also offers protection services to politicians, actors, and musicians. Recently, he served as technical advisor on the Steven Soderbergh directed film Haywire that's being released this Friday, January 20th. Check it out. I'm very excited for it. In the film, it was his job to transform MMA star Gina Carano into a special ops expert. Aaron Cohen, welcome to Film Nut.
Thanks for having me.
It is
That was a serious intro.
Well, you're a serious guy, but you're a fun guy too.
You know, I've never actually heard the bio read so seriously. It was very special forces. So thanks for laying it out and letting me get to hear it.
Well, good. You know, it's in all seriousness, it's great having you on. You know, I've talked in the past on some other shows, and certainly a lot in my private life, how much respect I have for people like you that do what you do, that enable people like me and citizens everywhere to do what we do. So for your great service on behalf of freedom and fighting terrorism, thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
On a much lighter movie note now.
Yeah, that was heavy.
That was heavy,
Yeah,
it was.
Let's go to Hollywood.
Let's go to Hollywood now.
Let's take it soft now, yeah.
Let's take it soft. Let's talk about Haywire, and this is your first feature film as a technical advisor, correct?
It is my first feature film. I was contacted by Steven Soderbergh, the director, to work on Haywire as the tech advisor, which was pretty amazing. I got to do a lot of really interesting things and work with some pretty great people.
How did he get to you? How did he know that you were the guy?
Steven's producer, Greg Jacobs, had read my book, and I believe he was doing some research. There it is. I was doing some research. I think in the security community in Hollywood, one of the main pieces of service that my business offers and has offered for the last almost 10 years is protective services to dignitaries and celebrities. And I think that Greg and Steven were actively searching the Hollywood security community to see if they could come up with vetted experts to contribute to the film. It was a special operations movie. So he contacted me, literally left a message, sent an email, and then called my office, and I ended up calling him back, and it's funny. Greg said to me, he goes, hey, I'm a big fan of your work, and I looked him up on IMDb and saw that he had done all these films with Steven, Contagion and Traffic, and they're partners. And I said, well, thank you. I'm a big fan of your work. Thanks for Traffic and for taking me through the 90s.
Right.
And he laughed, and
right.
I laughed, and he saw that I'm a normal guy with a sense of humor, and and he asked me if I'd be interested in working on a film, and I love movies, and I grew up in LA, and it's funny because Hollywood is the reason why I left LA, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But here I am, almost 15 years later, out of the Army, asking to work on a film or contribute to a film, and he asked me if I could come over that day, and so I did, and I think it ended up. I think what was supposed to be about an hour, 45-minute long interview ended up turning into about a 10-hour session with Steven Soderbergh and Lem Dobbs and Greg Jacobs, and
Len Dobbs, the writer.
Yeah,
Now,
he really great guy, talented writer, and we just started going at it.
And it came. Well, you said it's a special ops movie, so let's take a look at a trailer for it, so the audience can get a feel for what it's about, and we'll come out and obviously talk some more.
Yeah.
negotiations broke down. Fix it.
I have an assignment. It's like a paid holiday.
Starting when?
The story will be that she's gone rogue.
You can tell me right now why you sold me out, or you can tell me in 10 minutes when I have my hands around your throat.
Haywire. I've never done a woman before.
You shouldn't think of her as being a woman. That would be a mistake.
Love that line. You can tell me an hour and 10 seconds when I have my hands around your throat. Now, Gina Carano, did you work with her? Obviously you did, and what other actors in the movie did you work with?
Well, I was tasked with working with all the actors. I ended up designing custom tactical special operations training programs for Gina, which was about 2 months, as well as Channing Tatum, Michael Fassbender. I had him for about a week, and Ewan McGregor I had for a couple of days also.
Now, did his Jedi training come in handy for him, or?
He seems to get a lot of grief for that, both I think from Steven and from everybody. I never brought it up because it's so cliche that I
Right.
stayed away from it. But
Leave that to me, right?
Yeah, he is Obi-Wan.
Right.
Ewan McGregor is like one of the nicest human beings I think in the world. He's such a sweet, lovely guy. It was a pleasure to work with him. He was so into even the little bits and pieces that he got. And it's funny, Michael Fassbender also wasn't originally supposed to be part of the training. He asked to be because he heard what I was doing to Gina and Channing and how intense the training was. And so he kind of weaseled his way into